Everybody, welcome into another Between the Uprights Live. We are covering week 18, baby, and we are so ready and we are here for it. I tell you what, I am so excited about this. This is finally the season coming to an end. We are ready to go, super excited, and we have some great games coming up on Saturday. And Sammy, nothing can have more at stake, not only for the teams involved, but the people on this panel than the first game we're going to talk about this weekend, and that is Panthers Buccaneers, my friend. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Carolina Panthers, and you, my friend, probably have the most riding on this game out of everybody right now, man.
Yeah,
So I'm going to let you talk about this.
For those who don't know, I put my hair on the line. So if the Panthers win this game, they get a playoff spot, and that is one step closer to them getting a playoff win. And if they get a playoff win, I am officially getting a buzz cut. This hair is being buzzed, and I love my hair. I'm almost coming to terms with the fact that I'm getting the buzz cut. Like, this is how crazy the NFL has been this year. But I made the bet, and everything started to go wrong as soon as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers went on this incredible slump. The Panthers starting defeating a lot of good teams. They beat the Buccaneers 2 weeks ago, and now even if the Bucs win this weekend, fun fact, it might not even matter, because if the Falcons end up winning against the Saints, the Panthers end up winning the division. So that pretty much settles that. Now, some stakes in this game. Obviously, the NFC South is on the line. Not just my hair. I'm pretty sure that my hair is the least of my problems, but this is the very last chance for the Panthers to not make the playoffs. And if they don't make the playoffs, my hair is completely fine. Everything is completely okay. But I will say both these teams, I will say this. The Panthers, in my opinion, are more deserving throughout the season to make the playoffs than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay started off very well. Obviously, they got some big wins, including wins over Seattle, right? They got a win over San Francisco. Granted, they were banged up. But unfortunately, since then, it has just not been very, very good. They've gone on an insane losing streak, with their wins being really against the Cardinals. And that is it. That's the last significant win that they've really had, by 3 points, mind you. They have fallen off the face of the earth like no team I've ever seen before. And of course, it comes right after what happened to me. So what I decided to put on the line. Now, granted, look, man, at the end of the day, this kind of helps me. I'm coping here, guys. This kind of helps me because my hair, it will grow fast. I have great genetics, right? The thing is, I don't like touching this. I don't like it. So I prefer not to. And I'm going to have to struggle to tell my barber, if this indeed does happen, hey, why are you cutting this all off? Simple. I'm an idiot. Okay. That's exactly what I'm going to say. Some keys to this game. I mean, Tampa Bay has just been, especially Baker Mayfield, has been rough this back half of the season. He has been very, very bad in a year where he has thrown for 25 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. On the field, if you watch the games, it has not looked good. He has not looked good. And really, it's because of the fact, yeah, you could, play into that. Some of it is because of his receivers being hurt. But another part of it is the overall team, like the defense now, is way worse than last year's. And then on top of that, the weapons have seemed to have regressed, which was predictable. We thought Emeka Egbuka was another wide receiver that Baker Mayfield's going to love. He's going to target him a lot. Well, he leads the team in receiving yards, but he, in the back half of the season, much like Baker Mayfield, not really getting open, not really getting targets. Chris Godwin and Mike Evans, both under 400 receiving yards right now. They have been hurt, banged up, and you could kind of tell Baker Mayfield's trying to get them going, to get chemistry with them to really go on a playoff run. It has not worked out. They've lost some of these games, very important games, against the Saints, against the Falcons. I mean, they lost a recent one against the Dolphins with Quinn Ewers starting. Just an absolute nightmare. And overall, I would say that it kind of it would really cap off the season perfectly if the Buccaneers end up losing this game and going 7-10. I do think that Todd Bowles' job is on the line this weekend. It is. And even if he wins, I do think he should be fired. But if they lose, I think he'll be fired right on Monday. Like it'll be done. I mean, the fact that you've been good in this division for so long isn't that impressive. And the first team to have a pulse, you mentioned this, Joe, a couple episodes ago. The first team to have a pulse in this division, the Carolina Panthers, and all of a sudden they're struggling to scrape by. So I should also credit the Carolina Panthers as well. I mean, they've progressed this year. So two completely different directions for both of these franchises, regardless of how you slice it, regardless if Tampa Bay makes the playoffs, regardless if Carolina makes the playoffs, both these teams are going complete opposite directions, Joe. So I'm picking the Panthers to win. I'm going to go ahead and say I don't think the Panthers are going to lose this game. I think Rico Dowdle having a career year, I think he's going to run all over Tampa. I think Bryce Young, what a career resurgence. It looked like early in the year he wasn't the guy. Back half of the season, he's looked a lot better. Statistically, not that impressive, but he's made some great plays with his legs and on the run. So shout out to T-Mac, Tesaroa McMillan, close to 1,000 yards receiving. I just trust Carolina more. I do. I trust Dave Canellis more. I don't trust Todd Bowles. And Carolina has played in these big games so well. And that's something I really should have considered when I put my hair on the line. But hey, we're very close to it. We're very close to it. I'm sure you guys will be very, very grateful when this happens. But especially you, Joe, you will be very grateful. But it's going to be very sweaty Saturday. That's for sure. Sweaty Saturday for me.
Yeah, absolutely. You got a lot on the line, man. But, to your point, it kind of looks like the tale of two different quarterbacks here, whereas Bryce Young early on in the season, we were like, oh man, he's done. This is over. Carolina's starting their search for a quarterback over again. Baker Mayfield, he had an MVP case at the first half of the season. And then it was almost like you flipped a switch where now Baker looks, like he's regressed back to, the questions that he had when he was in Cleveland. And you got Bryce Young, who's making those timely throws now that Carolina's just, found their identity on offense, which is really like feed Rico Dowdle, feed Chuba Hubbard, get those guys over 24 combined carries, really rely on the run game and that powerful offensive line, which has been showing up week in and week out to get yourself this division, get yourself into the playoffs right now. And there's not a lot of teams, I think, that really match up well with what Carolina is doing on offense just because of how effective they do run the football, how effectively they can run the football with the running backs they have. When you kind of look down the list of teams that are going to go to Carolina, if Carolina wins this game, wins this division, right now they got the San Francisco 49ers. Obviously, we're going to talk about them in a second because they got the Seahawks this weekend, and that is for the division and the 1 seed in the NFC. But, even then, the Seahawks win, lose, doesn't really matter. The Los Angeles Rams win, lose, doesn't really matter. They're going to face either the San Francisco 49ers or the Seattle Seahawks, possibly, it depends on how things work out. I don't know if I don't believe the Rams can leap the 49ers exactly on a loss. It's going to be close depending on how things work out the rest of the week. But, the Rams could go to Carolina, San Francisco could go to Carolina, or Seattle can go to Carolina. Those are all really good teams, but none of them feel like if they went down to Carolina, you're really looking at them and going, this is going to be they're just going to stomp Carolina. I don't feel that way anymore. I know Carolina's got some questions on the back end of their defense, whether or not the defense can hold up to some of these more powerful offenses, but they beat the Rams already, so I know they can beat them. And the Rams are still considered the favorite to win the Super Bowl right now, based on all the things I've seen. So when you look at sort of that Carolina at home, I think they could win a home game. I really think they do that running game. So this is going to be a very interesting thing. And I think that, everyone, including you, Sammy, is kind of hoping that Tampa Bay can find that first half of the season resurgence here and really make a run and get this division back under control. But like I said, even then, even if they win, the Falcons beat the Saints, Carolina still locks it up. They're really in the driver's seat of this division right now. So it's going to be interesting to see. But we have to go on to this next Saturday game. And that is the big one. Saturday night, Seahawks, 49ers, going to be in Levi Stadium for the division, for the 1 seed in the NFC. And we talked about this on a previous episode. You can go check it out, Kyle Shanahan episode we did, where we said, Kyle Shanahan has absolutely done a master class of coaching the 49ers with all of the injuries they've had, with everything they have going on right now in that team, that locker room, the just terrible stuff that's happened with the injuries, the discontent with the wide receiver who shall not be named. I'm not even going to try to bring it up right now. We've talked about it enough, right? Yeah. Just seems like every year we have one of these guys that just falls off for whatever reason and just, decides that it's more important to have whatever he's got going on than play football. And through all of the turmoil and the injuries, didn't matter if it was Mac Jones under center who played his way into a starting role later, Kyle Shanahan has moved this team forward, and they have a chance somehow, some way to win the division, win the 1 seed in the NFC, and get a first round bye. And by the way, we did say this. There was something we should have said earlier on that Kyle Shanahan. We said Fred Warner was done for the year. Not so fast. If the 49ers can make a deep playoff run, there is a chance that Fred Warner could be back for a Super Bowl run if the 49ers make a deep playoff run. And let me tell you right now, getting a player like that back changes everything. But Sammy, what do you expect to see in this Seahawks 49ers game? Because I'm tabbing it right now. This is game of the week.
Oh my goodness. I mean, you want to talk about this is the game of the year, in my opinion. This is one of those games. This is for the NFC West. This is for, whoever loses this game, and this is the beauty of football. This is the beauty of the NFL. Whoever loses this game, hey man, you're playing on the road for the rest of the playoffs. And that is insane. But that is the importance of divisions in the NFL. And that's why, in my opinion, the NFL is king, because the importance of the divisions, and winning a division is the difference, and losing a division or being second place in the division could be the difference between you playing at home for most of the playoffs or playing on the road. And let me tell you, I trust both of these teams coaching wise. I think Mike Macdonald and Kyle Shanahan, what a meeting of the minds, right? Kyle Shanahan, that offensive guru, one of the greatest offensive minds of all time, and then one of the young rising defensive minds in the NFL, a man who has led this defense to heights that it hasn't seen since the Legion of Boom. Third in rushing yards defended. They're second in points per game defensively. This right here is a defense that really, while yes, the passing defense is kind of a weakness, especially against teams like the Rams, they're 12th in the NFL at that. You can't deny that this defense overall just is a top 10 defense, and led by Mike Macdonald. I trust him there. And then on top of that, offensively, Sam Darnold. We all thought what he did in Minnesota was a product of Kevin O'Connell. Not so fast. He went to Seattle, and guess what? He has unlocked Jackson Smith-Njigba. And despite the fact that really Cooper Kupp was the big offseason acquisition, not a lot of stuff has happened with Cooper Kupp this year. Only 45 catches for 564 yards. He's a far cry removed from his Triple Crown year. One, in my opinion, the greatest wide receiver season of all time. It's crazy. Now the Seahawks are going to be with some semi-key injuries, in my opinion. Torrey Horton, one of their wide receivers, and Elijah Arroyo, one of their tight ends. Some depth guys, they're going to be out. It's going to be interesting what we see from the Sam Darnold without those weapons. I don't think much should change, given the fact that he has the best wide receiver possibly in football in Jackson Smith-Njigba. Look, man, what a meeting of the minds. Obviously, I said it already, but guess what? We have a player on the other side who could change everything, and that's Christian McCaffrey. 2,000 total yards this year, 2,069 yards, 17 touchdowns. He has 96 catches this year. You want to talk about an underrated candidate for MVP. He won't win it, obviously, because the MVP hates running backs and wide receivers and any position that isn't quarterback. But Christian McCaffrey back to his form. And we didn't think it would happen, given what happened last year. He was going to Germany. Okay, he was going to Germany to see what he could fix. I don't know who that German doctor is, but God bless you, because C-Mac is back. Okay, C-Mac is back. I have this weird thing. The QB matchup here, Joe, is so interesting. Brock Purdy against Sam Darnold. And I'd like to think you could agree with this. I think we both trust Brock Purdy more. Do we really? Like, how much more do we trust Brock Purdy over Sam Darnold? Obviously, Sam Darnold hasn't done it yet, but given the weapons that Sam Darnold has and the weapons that Brock Purdy doesn't have, it's really hard to predict what kind of Brock Purdy we're going to get. On top of that, George Kittle's questionable. Okay, that's another. Ricky Pearsall, he's also questionable. So all these players, tomorrow night, these players might not even be available. So because of that, I guess I'll give my prediction. I've been spieling so much about stuff about this game, narratives and stuff, but I'm going to give it to Seattle. I think they've been hot. I think their offense has been hot. I think the San Francisco 49er defense, credit to Robert Saleh for doing what he has been able to do. This defense isn't the worst in the league despite all their injuries, but it's still an average defense so far. And I think Sam Darnold and Jackson Smith and Jigba are going to have their way. Going into Levi Stadium is difficult. Believe me when I say that. But I also trust, especially with a banged up Niners offense, along that we're not going to see a fully healthy Kittle or Ricky Pearsall. I trust Mike Macdonald to shut down Brock Purdy. I trust Mike Macdonald to really shut down the talk of who's going to be the first seed in the NFC West. Seattle is going to go 14-3. Seattle is going to win the NFC West. And, you know, I thought it was going to be the Rams. Joe, I think you're going to end up being right about the NFC West. You're already right about them in terms of like they're better than the Rams record-wise this year. But look, man, you might have hit it on the head with that take, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I remember there were a lot of people in the comments like, "Oh, we just beat the Titans. Did I miss something?" Like, whoa! Like there was like the Colts fans were in the comments. Oh, they're going to lose to the Colts. Oh, the Rams fans were in the comments. And, hey, the Rams fans were almost right, but they weren't right. And you know, I said the Seahawks would win their last 4 games of the season, go a 4-game sweep, and they would be the 1 seed in the NFC, and the road to the Super Bowl would go through Seattle. 1 game away, baby. All you got to do is go into San Francisco and make me not a liar. That's all I'm asking of you, Sam Darnold, all right? That's all I'm asking of you. Don't make me a liar, okay? Now, the reason I think Seattle's going to win this game, and it's because we talked something I talked about in that Kyle Shanahan video, which you can go check out on our YouTube channel. The defense of the 49ers does not get after the quarterback. They have one of the lowest sack percentages in the NFL at 3% of pass plays in a sack. That is the worst in the NFL by a large margin. Okay. We're talking about defenses that don't get after the quarterback very well. The San Francisco 49ers in 2025 are the, you know, poster child of literally not getting after the quarterback. And everyone's always talks about how do you make Sam Darnold lose a football game? You give pressure on him. You pressure him. Well, this is the one team that can't pressure the quarterback. So this is a problem, right? When you look at how teams have beat Sam Darnold in the past, it's about getting after Sam Darnold, making him uncomfortable, and putting him in situations where he's not going to succeed. The 49ers can't do that. Nope. So, you know, when you're talking about that and what they need to have happen for them to win this football game, even at home, I don't think they have the capability to do that with the offensive or with the defensive front seven that they have going up against this offensive line that up until, you know, the back part of the season wasn't that great or was really good. And now they've sort of fallen off. I apologize. Flip that, reverse it. That's what I meant. But to your point, you know, I think that the running game is coming on strong for Seattle. I think that, you know, you have Zach Charbonnet, Kenneth Walker. They're starting to get a little more carry as we go further into the year. And, you know, although Christian McCaffrey is having a great season, and you're right, a dark horse MVP candidate if Mac Jones and Matthew Stafford hadn't been playing the way they were playing, you know, and, you know, then you got Myles Garrett out there trying to, you know, plead his case. Obviously, if he gets a sack record, we're going to have some more things to talk about on the MVP voting. Just on that alone. But, you know, you're talking about Christian McCaffrey from like a all-purpose yard perspective. He very, very well could go over the 2,000 yard mark in this game, or go over the 1,000 yard receiving, 1,000 yard rushing. And who knows what that does for his MVP case, honestly.
And I do want to mention, like I did mention like in one of the episodes regarding the Rams, how Seattle's rushing attack wouldn't be too impactful. Well, it's been impactful lately. And on top of that, Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet are both up. Zach Charbonnet is not going to hit it because he's at 777 rushing yards. But I would imagine he's going to get to 800. So they're going to have 2 running backs over 800 rushing yards. One of those running backs over 1,100 rushing yards. And on top of that, it's not just Jackson Smith and Jigba to worry about for the Niners. They don't pressure the quarterback, so you're going to have guys like Rashid Shaheed that can break open, guys like A.J. Barner, who's been a breakout tight end this year as well. I mean, those are just guys that Sam Darnold can pick apart with. Obviously, JSN is the big target here, but Joe, you knocked it on the head at the beginning of the year, man. I got to give you credit, man.
Hey, man, I'm not right all the time, but I'm right some of the time, baby. But yeah, I'm with you on this. I think the Seahawks get this game.
Nah, yeah, I mean, the Seahawks, look, man, we talked about it early on this year, how the defense was going to be really good. I think we all expected that. But I think what was surprising is how great this offense has been throughout the entire year. Like we didn't expect Sam Darnold which by the way, last year Sam Darnold was awesome. I want to make this very clear. Sam Darnold was awesome, but we all felt like that was a product of Kevin O'Connell. We now realize that isn't the case, and that Sam Darnold can go to any offense, any competent offensive mind, and he could figure it out. And look, JSN, I don't know how many years he's been in the league. I believe he's in his like 7th season. I don't know how many seasons he's been here, but I want to say he hasn't been in many, right? Like 4 or 5 years maybe in the league. I can't remember the exact number of seasons he's been in the NFL, but there was 3 seasons, right? He's been in the NFL 3 seasons. I mean, he didn't really break out his first year. He didn't even break out his
28 yards.
Yeah, he wasn't going off like he is right now. No. Right? And he had solid wide receiver play. It's not like Geno Smith was terrible, but now he
was a 1,000-yard guy in 2024. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. Like,
but it's not like this.
This is next level.
He's way better than I even imagined. And wow, like credits, like shout out to Sam Darnold is all I'm gonna say. I still don't know if I trust him come playoff time, but he is a starting QB in this league, and he should remain that way. I think Seattle shouldn't. I'm glad Seattle's got him locked in for the next couple of years because it's clearly paying off.
Clearly paying off. So right now we have the Panthers winning the NFC South. We have the Seahawks winning the NFC West, all happening Saturday. We are going to get into the Sunday slate real quick because even though there's not a lot of great matchups in the Sunday slate, a lot matters when it comes down to playoff seeding and things of that nature. So let's go ahead and talk about one game that's going to matter a lot. It is your Miami Dolphins going up against the New England Patriots in New England. And we're going to get another look at Quinn Ewers there in Miami. And the reason this is a big game, right? The reason this is a big game is because if the Buffalo Bills beat the Jets, the Patriots have to beat the Dolphins to win the AFC East and hold on to the 2 seed, as well as a hope and a shot for the 1 seed if the Denver Broncos find some way to lose to the Trey Lance-led Chargers, as the Chargers are resting all of their players. I don't see that happening. But what that does is that even if the Patriots win or lose this game, and Buffalo wins, however that works out, this is going to be a first-round matchup again, regardless almost. Like, there's very little chance that the first round has any other result than the Buffalo Bills and the New England Patriots facing each other. Man, I'm not saying that there's a lot of chance, but I have learned in my life to never fully write off the Dolphins, no matter how bad they are.
Yeah.
I have had some heartbreaking L's from the Miami Dolphins in my days.
Yeah.
I have watched them have some like worse seasons than they're having right now and find ways to beat the Patriots and fuck up a good thing for me. All right. And I would really hate for that to happen this Sunday. But Sammy, I'm going to go to you here, the resident Dolphin expert. Do you feel that this is the one sort of moral victory you can get this season? Patriots, Dolphins. Let me hear it.
Well, this guy isn't going to be starting. So unfortunately, the threat is very minimal. Not that he was very, like the Tua against the Patriots has had a very good history up until this year. And that's the one thing that you could say, the one thing that Tua had on top of all the criticism, you could say Tua Tagovailoa had never lost to the New England Patriots. And unfortunately, that went away this year. So the one thing that he had going, he lost. On top of that, he was pretty bad. So he's not going to be starting. It's going to be Quinn Ewers. He looked pretty good against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but I don't know how much stock I put into that, given the fact that Tampa Bay's been so bad lately. So, I mean, Kirk Cousins dropped 300 passing yards on him. Like it's been rough for Tampa Bay. But I will say last time Patriots were in this position, right? Patriots were in a similar position. I believe it was like 7 years ago. 6, 7 years ago.
Oh,
it was 20. I'm so sorry. 2019.
Why are you this?
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, ladies and gentlemen. 7 years ago, I believe, Ryan Fitzpatrick went into Gillette Stadium against Tom Brady, and the Patriots were playing with something to prove. They were. and they took the lead with less than 4 minutes left to go in the game. And then Ryan Fitzpatrick, along with Devontae Parker, you remember that? Against the defensive player of the year, Stephon Gilmore. Yeah, guess what? DPOY that year stood for Devontae Parker owns you. And that's the one thing that I was so excited that year. I was talking so much crap and it ended up not even mattering in the end. But I will say this. The Dolphins are not new to spoiling New England seasons. But I do think New England is cut from a different cloth this year. I do think that they have stability for the most part, even though there's some rough stuff going on with Diggs and Barmore. Get it together, fellas. You guys are in the middle of a playoff run. Like, I don't know what's going on there. But I trust Mike Vrabel, even with the situations going on, to right the ship. And look, Drake May is a different cat. He just is. He's the MVP. He's going to be the MVP of this league. I don't expect the Patriots to slow down. I expect Ewers to be a bit uncomfortable. And even though the Patriots haven't been able to get to the quarterback as often, they're 23rd in the league in sacks, they're still a top 10 passing defense in the NFL. So you're going to be facing a really good defense. You're going to be facing an elite quarterback, and that usually spells disaster for the Miami Dolphins. So as much as I want to root for my team, as much as I think that that this team can maybe pull a little bit of magic out of this hat, I don't trust it. I just trust Drake May more now. I do. I trust Drake May more. I trust Mike Vrabel a lot more, and I trust his team more. New England's back. I think they're going to win 14 games, and they're probably not going to be the first seed given what's going on in LA, but they're going to lock in the second seed, and we'll see if it's the Chargers or the Bills that they play, or maybe even the Texans. That, by the way, that 5, 6, and 7 seed, probably the most dangerous slate of wild card opponents you're probably going to see, Joe.
Yeah, easily for sure. And right now the Bills, I don't think they're losing to the Jets, right? Unless they rest everybody, right? Like the Bills would have to rest everyone, but they're still playing because they have a shot at the division. And so you look at it from that perspective right now, the Chargers resting everybody, they're probably losing to the Broncos, barring something crazy, right? So you kind of look at it from that perspective. Now the Chargers, who are resting everyone, going to lose to the Broncos. They're going to go to New England. Bills are probably beating the Jets. I don't see a way that the Bills don't beat the Jets, even with everyone resting. I still don't see how they don't beat the Jets. So that means the Chargers then go to New England, and I think that's a way more favorable matchup for New England than seeing Buffalo for the third time in this season. It's very difficult, and I don't think the average NFL fan doesn't realize how difficult it is, regardless of how good a team is, to beat them twice in a season. It is very, very hard to do that consistently. Now, I'm a Patriots fan. I've seen them do it a lot, right? But it's not easy to do it. It's not easy to do it twice. It's very difficult to do it a third time. So when you sort of look at how the Bills and the Patriots have played, I think not seeing them at first round here is going to be the benefit. I think they win this game. I think that the Bills win against the Jets. And I think the Chargers, who are, like I said, they're starting Trey Lance. We already know what's happening there, right? They're resting up. Justin Herbert's got a broken hand anyway. Injuries are hitting that team. They're trying to be as healthy as they can be coming into the wild card round. I don't know if it's going to be enough, because what does 1 week do to a broken hand? Nothing. It's broken still. Like, it doesn't change. It takes longer than a week to heal anything. So I think, when you start to look at how this is going to settle out based on the Saturday slate, based on the Sunday slate, you can start to see your playoff matchups. I think Jacksonville is going to beat the Titans, even though Cam Ward has started to look more and more serviceable as the season's gone along. I think that, Jacksonville's just too tough. They're going to be inviting the Titans down to Duval. It's not going to go well for them. So I got Jacksonville's going to hold at 3. I think that you're looking at the AFC playoffs right now. Denver 1, Patriots 2, Jags 3. We'll talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Ravens next week. I think at that point, the 4 seed is going to be welcoming the Texans, barring a Phillip Rivers masterclass for the Indianapolis Colts, which.
Well, I don't believe he's starting, actually. I think they're benching him, actually.
Are they going with Riley Leonard?
I think they are going with Riley Leonard. I can go ahead and check my
that would be interesting.
I do believe that they are going to be benching Phillip Rivers, which sucks. because I would have loved to see Philip
Let
Rivers
him play, man.
I was gonna say, like, your season's over. I don't understand the notion of why you would want to bench. I understand it. Understand your team kind of fell apart because of the fact that it's Shane Steichen confirmed it 2 days ago. They're gonna start Riley Leonard this Sunday, which I guess
That's interesting.
I guess it makes sense because you're trying to look for the future at this point, and
Hey, he
you already
didn't look bad,
yeah.
but
By the way, side note, the Colts, what a disappointing end to the season. Like, they started off so
absolutely.
hot. Their defense looked great. Their running game looked electric. And now, after Daniel Jones got hurt, they keyed in on Jonathan Taylor, starting to stack the box. And after that, it was over. And now, like, the future is uncertain now because Daniel Jones was working on a Jones fracture, I believe. He was like playing
Yeah,
through
fractured fibula
a fractured fibula,
and
yes. And
yeah,
now he tore his Achilles, I believe.
in the
So
opposite leg.
in the opposite leg. So this guy is made of glass paper skin, bro. Like, oh, poor guy. And now they don't know what their future holds. Like, I'm
Yeah,
pretty
he
sure
was he
coming
had
into
played
the
himself
year,
into a multi-year deal. He had
yeah,
played
I mean,
himself into a multi-year deal.
yeah, he was like the Colts were gonna ride with this guy into the sunset, but now it's they catch themselves in a bit of a rock and a hard place. So sorry, Colts fans. We didn't think you were for real anyway, but at the very least, we thought you. I didn't think you were for real.
I did.
I think that Joe thought they were for real. Let me
Right up until the broken leg. That's when
and
I
then
was like,
and then he broke his leg, and then he tore his Achilles, and
that
after
was
that,
over.
now you got to find out who your quarterback's going to be next year. Is it going to be AR again? Is it going to
No,
be?
I think that's done.
I mean, what
That's
other
done.
choice do you really have though, Joe? Like, where else could they really go from here?
I mean, you're looking around the league right now. I think that if you're smart, who played well, that's on a 1-year deal, that's going to possibly try free agency.
I mean,
And
there are some options. Maybe Mac Jones is going to be a free agent.
I think Mac in that offense,
Malik Willis.
he's not mobile. He's not mobile. You're playing pocket.
So maybe Malik Willis would be a better fit, I would assume. Like, maybe
Malik Willis, I could see Malik Willis getting a shot in there if they don't want to try to run it back with Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones obviously coming off the injury, he's going to be a cheap buy for another year. But I think you got to sign a secondary choice there. It's got to be. I think Mac Jones is a different style of quarterback than what they really than Shane Steichen really wants to play with there. I think that he wants a guy who can move the pocket and sort of be mobile and use his legs a little bit. Mac Jones is very much inside the pocket. He can do a lot of pre-snap read, do a lot of things like that. But honestly, when you look at the last pocket passer they had there, it was Joe Flacco, and he didn't do that well because there wasn't a lot there for it. So I think that, Mac Jones could be a quarterback there. I just don't think that's a good fit. So yeah, Malik Willis could be an option. But then again, it's Malik Willis. I mean, he's got spurts, but at the same time,
you got. I mean, maybe just to bridge into the next year, like at that
maybe
point, because like you don't want to coming into this year. You already like. I think we forget coming into the year we gave the Colts no hope. Like we gave them no hope. I think you didn't give him hope. I didn't give him hope. No one gave him hope.
And Matt had their QB room ranked 32nd. He said it didn't matter who they started.
Literally literally in a QB room with Daniel Jones, AR. I mean, you had QB
Riley
rooms
Leonard.
Like QB rooms like the Browns, right? And the Saints seem to have found something in Tyler Shough, but that's a conversation for another day. Like in those kind of situations exist within the league. And Matt still said that was like the worst QB room he's seen. And
Daniel Jones proved him wrong for about 3/4 of a season.
Yeah.
However, at the end of the day, Daniel Jones,
poor guy.
Happens. Poor guy. It does. It's very unfortunate. But you say we're talking Tyler Shuggs for another day. That's probably one of the most important games for
me
Panthers fans to watch. Yeah, it's a very important game because if the Saints can go into Atlanta with a team that has looked very, very good, right? Yeah. Under Tyler Shuggs. He has been, honestly, to be fair, his statistics alongside of what we saw from Spencer Rattler are almost identical, right? Matt put that in the stat box in the comment section the other day. Through like the collective games that they have played, their statistics are the same.
Yeah.
However, Tyler Shuggs' gameplay has directly resulted in wins whether or not the fan base wants to see those wins or not this late in the year. Obviously, they've moved themselves out of some prime draft capital, but I digress. Tyler Shugg makes very timely throws, very timely plays.
Yeah.
I think there's something to be said about not only how good a quarterback is, but when he makes timely throws, timely plays. And if he can make some timely throws and timely plays against the Falcons, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers can hold off the Carolina Panthers on Saturday, they will help crown the Tampa Bay Buccaneers NFC South champs. Now, obviously, we'll know whether or not this game means anything after Saturday night. We'll know no later than midnight. 12:01 Sunday morning, we'll know whether or not this game means anything. But if it does, Tyler Shugg could hold the key, Sammy, and I want to hear your thoughts on that. Do you think Tyler Shugg can go into Atlanta with the way that Kirk Cousins has been playing now under center and the way that Bijan Robinson is going and some of the things that we've seen from essentially a resurgent Kyle Pitts? Well, this is what Kyle Pitts was supposed to be this whole time.
Yeah, I mean, Kyle Pitts has been amazing the last couple of games, especially that game against Tampa. We saw what we should have seen from him a long time ago. I'm worried, though, because I'm worried about the Saints and what's going to happen with their rush defense, because this rush defense isn't great. Part of the reason they've had success is the fact that they've been the 5th best passing defense in the NFL, which shout out to them. I mean, in a roster that's really not supposed to be a 6-win team, not even a 5-win team, really. They've won 6 games. Shout out to Kellen Moore. He's done a fantastic job there. And it looks like they found a QB that they're going to go into next season fairly confident with, especially with the division that's really not that good. So look, if they win this game, they're going to finish 7-10. That's like one game, but that could be potentially one game behind the division winners if Tampa Bay gets it done. So incredible, honestly, how crap this division is. But I will say I'm worried about the Saints because they're going to face the best back in football. They're going to face a guy that has been electric all year long, Bijan Robinson. He has been, I mean, what else is there to really say about Bijan other than he's the best back and he might be the best back in football overall. I mean 810 receiving yards, 1,445 rushing yards. I mean, best scrimmage player in football this year. Like you could argue this guy's been that good this year. It's a shame that the Falcons figured it out in terms of getting pressure. They figured it out, guys. Like they really did. Like people think I'm trolling here. They're second in the league in sacks. This entire time, the last couple of years, they've been one of the worst pass rush teams in the NFL. This year, they're second in the league in sacks, and it doesn't matter because their offense and QB play hasn't been good. The Bijan Robinson, the best back in football, it doesn't matter because they're not going to win the division. An overall very disappointing season, obviously, but I will say this. All this matters now. This game matters now because of what could happen in the game on Saturday, like you said, Joe. And I'll be blunt. I'm going to jinx myself here. I'm going to go ahead and jinx myself. I think the Falcons are going to win this game. I think Bijan Robinson's going to run all over the Saints. And I think the Falcons are going to look. I understand.
It don't matter.
I understand. We might be getting and maybe they might be getting shucked that day. They might. But the problem becomes that they're going to be without Chris Olave. They're going to be without Alvin Kamara. And even though Alvin Kamara hasn't really been playing much, that's a pretty big weapon to have. And then Chris Olave being the big unfortunate injury that they have on that team. So shout out to him, by the way. He's been really good. A career resurgence. Obviously, 1,160 yards receiving. Look, man, I just don't see how the Saints stop Bijan Robinson. Straight up. The Rams couldn't do it. I don't think the Saints can do it. I think the Falcons win this game. I think they secure the Panthers. I don't think it will matter because the Panthers are going to win on Saturday. But I think the Falcons leave no doubt. They leave no doubt. And they get the win. They finish 8-9. We're going to have 3 8-9, or we're going to have 2 8-9 teams and 1 9-8 winner in these playoffs. So it's Oh my goodness, bro. I'm worried about my hair, Joe. I'm not gonna lie.
I can see the concern has been growing
I'm
over the
actually
week.
concerned. You want to know something, Joe? Is that I'm gonna act like I wasn't concerned at all if the San Francisco or Seattle beats Carolina, man. I'm gonna act like I was so
Oh, I know you're gonna come in so chill as a
Oh
cucumber.
yeah, I'm gonna be kicking my
chill.
feet up like boom, just like this, and just you're gonna see the fit. You're gonna see the fit. If you're gonna see it, you might see it Sunday night. You might see it Sunday night, depending on what happens, man. You never know. But
I'm just gonna be honest with you, brother. Like I have such a will to buy my tickets right now to fly down to Miami just to be there when that hair comes off, brother. It would be so hilarious. But we gave CMC a lot of credit for being a 2,000-yard guy, right? Scrimmage yard guy.
yeah,
Bijan Robinson right now is sitting at 22.55.
jeez,
22.55. And that's not even the craziest thing. What would you say if I told you that Drake London isn't the leading receiver on this team?
I can't believe that.
Kyle Pitts is the leading receiver on this team. Good Lord.
Finally, by the way. Finally.
The crazy thing is, right, that if you look at this team, if they just had a little bit better offensive line play, a little bit better quarterback play, right? If Michael Penix Jr. was healthy, they had the offensive line for him and everything like that. They have Kyle Pitts, 870 yards, Drake London, 841 yards, Bijan Robinson, 810 yards. That is insane. Like this team has the talent offensively to be good. And to your point, all the things they've done defensively, I'm really going to be watching the Atlanta Falcons in the offseason because I think that they have the best chance moving forward to be rulers of the NFC South. Just on that alone. I want to see what they do in the offseason. But we have now covered all of the games that matter. There's going to be a lot of other games that don't matter. There's going to be a few that matter for, who's drafting where. And we'll get into all that some other time. But it's almost playoff time, baby. We don't give a shit about the draft until it is after the Super Bowl because that's when it matters. But we'll be here to break all down all of that coverage and more. Be sure to tune in, like, subscribe to all those things that, you see these overlays telling you to do. And we will see you next time here on Between the Uprights Live. Be sure to check out all of our videos and like, subscribe, comment.